The old Sex Panthers are back.
Yep.
Well, BDSM podcast, I'm glad that you are back. I am Professor Porkloin, and my lovely co-host is here with me.
The Meat Viking.
And we are going to continue talking about North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the next two things, normally what we do is come up with a safe word. So what was our safe word we agreed upon?
Panthers.
Panthers, just because of the football team.
Yep.
And then, so, you hear that. Obviously, we're going to stop. But the other thing is, what's in the cup? Because I heard you just crack open a can.
Maumee Bay Total Eclipse Breakfast Stout.
Okay. Now,
It's
you've talked about that one before, right?
Yeah. It's what I had. I did not go and pick up any more beer recently. We actually had friends in town and we were at the zoo all day. So like my normal to-do list did not get done today.
Hey, man, that zoo is pretty cool.
Yeah. We do
It
have a
is
really
rated.
cool zoo.
Wasn't it rated top 10? I think it was rated top 10.
Yeah, I know
Once
they're adding a grizzly bear exhibit next year, and I'm excited for that.
A grizzly bear. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I actually went around to getting some beer this weekend, and I am drinking Santa Fe Brewing Company, the Java Stout.
I think I've had
And
that.
yeah, well, if you've had it, then it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I like on the can it says, "Oh, hey, you seem a little tired. Maybe you should have some coffee." And by coffee, we mean beer. And by beer, we mean a can of this Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
It's got a little picture of a little coffee cup before noon, and then a beer mug after noon.
How it goes, man. It's how it goes.
Yeah, so I've been drinking that this whole weekend. I bought myself a little sixer, and then I got some other stuff too. But so can't go wrong with a nice Java Stout.
Right?
But well, listeners, we are going to continue our little journey here with North Carolina Part 2. I know we were talking about a lot of stuff last episode, and if you didn't get a chance to listen to that, that is live, so you can go back and check that out. So you can finally hear about what we're talking about for this one. But what's one of the first things that you wanted to kind of kick off with?
Well, I think there was a soda that I wanted to kick off with because this is a soda I've only ever found kind of like in the Carolinas. That's known as cheer wine. Have you ever had cheer wine?
I have not had that. I've been to the Carolinas more than a few times, and I just never got it because I'd always just get the big name brand.
That's fair.
You
It
know,
is a cherry style soft drink, and it is so good. So good. And like you can make all sorts of stuff with it too. Like you can do like a battered fish and you put cheer wine in that batter, make a barbecue sauce out of it. It is super popular um in that area. And like you can make donuts with it, but one of the favorite things that I remember is the cheer wine root beer style float. So
oh yeah.
yeah.
So does it have a huge cherry flavor to it then?
From what I remember, yes.
Like it doesn't taste like freaking cough medicine cherry syrup, does it?
No, no. I don't remember that. Now, remind you here, like I gotta go back double digits years to remember the old cheer wine. So they could have like finagled the recipe a little bit here or there. But from what I remember, it's pretty good.
Double digit years, man. You old as fuck.
Yep. And apparently it's been around since 1917.
Yeah, there's a lot of sodas slash pops or however you want to call it that have been around for a long time. It's just interesting how the big name brands like Coke and Pepsi are just dominating the markets with all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I
So,
feel like having that small town feel of whatever it was
yep.
is the best, the best. And when we get to Texas, I mean, we'll talk about Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper was itself for the longest time until it got bought out by Pepsi. What? There's still a museum there.
Right. And
So
kind of a neat little thing. If you go onto Cheerwine's website, it has a video playing of just them doing random different recipes and stuff. So you can check out all sorts of recipes. You got everything from like sauces to desserts to cocktail drinks. So
yeah, speaking of cocktail drinks, what do you think would go good with that? Like a vodka? Because I don't know if cherry and rum would really like spiced rum would go.
probably not. Now, for me, what I would do, and it's not going to be like the main winner of this, is I like adding a machino cherry to my whiskey sours. So maybe just a splash of that.
Yeah, I'd have to say, especially if it's got that cherry flavor, I wouldn't put a whole shitload
Yeah.
into it.
However, just in looking at some of the drinks right here, um, it's going really good with stuff like bourbon, margaritas, and old fashioned. I'd be interested to try that out.
Okay.
So I see some vodka drinks, some gin drinks.
Yeah, gin. Yeah, the floralness, but
Yep.
so rum is kind of excluded on that list. I just don't think it would fit, but I mean, I could see tequila, I could see gin, vodka, bourbon. Like, yeah,
Well, what do you use in a pina colada?
that's coconut. I
No,
mean,
no.
you use rum. It's you use like Bacardi Silver in
Okay,
that.
yeah, because they're using a cheerwine colada, so that would be your rum. I see a sangria. I
That's
also
I
see a
could see
hot
that's
cocoa.
wine. Yeah, I could see a hot cocoa. I was thinking just particularly alcoholic beverages, but I mean, you could do a spiked hot cocoa
Yeah.
and throw a little bit of that cheer wine in
Mm-hmm. A whiskey smash. I'm all for.
it. Get whiskey smashed.
Oh yeah. So
Well, I think this kind of would lead into the next one because you brought this up before we started recording, and I didn't realize it, but I didn't realize that Pepsi was created in North Carolina,
mm-hmm.
and it's one of the most famous foods or food brands, I would guess. Like, even though it doesn't really fall into that food category. But did you know that the original name for it was actually called Brad's Drink?
I did not know that.
Yeah, like imagine being like, "Hey, man, want some Brad's drink?" Sounds a little rapey. Like
It does.
he's gonna put some freaking, shit in your drink, and you're not gonna remember the night before.
Well, at least it's not Bill's drink.
But yeah, Brad's drink. That's what the original name for Pepsi was, and it was sold in drugstores. And 1898. So it's been over 100 years since they've done that, and it basically was sugar, water, caramel, lemon oil, nutmeg, and natural additives. And they said that it was going to help you with, digestion and give you a little bit of some energy. So I guess in New Bern, North Carolina, they still have a place where you can visit where the birthplace of Pepsi was. They got a little gift shop and a museum there, and you can learn more about the history of Pepsi and buy some of their antique, unique products. So but I mean, I'm kind of curious. I never really looked at the war between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. I watched a documentary a couple weeks back, and it was on Hershey. And when we get to Pennsylvania, we'll talk about it. But how what he did with his cocoa and how Reese's was pretty close, closely tied together. And I really am kind of curious to know how Pepsi and Coke kind of went at it for a while,
I
because damn well there has
remember,
to be some like animosity between the two for a hot minute, at least maybe in the early like 1900s.
yeah, because I think you actually told me this. Somebody went to the other's rival for a job interview, and they had the recipe for the company that they were leaving, right?
Yeah,
And
I think it was Pepsi, or no, it was someone. I think it was Coke. Someone left Coke to go to Pepsi, and they were like, "Hey, we've got Coca-Cola's recipe if you want it."
yep, and then not only did he not get the job interview, he also got like a heavy fine.
Yeah, because they called the cops and they turned him in.
Yep, it's craziness.
Now, I don't think Pepsi had the original cocaine in it, so maybe that's the big thing there.
Yeah,
But
safer for children.
so it's always funny how people can say they taste the difference, and I can taste the difference between Pepsi and Coke.
Yep.
There are people that say they can't taste the difference, but Pepsi is sweeter than Coke, at least in my mind.
Hmm. I have a shameful story involving Coca Cola.
Well, you could have said that back in when we were talking about Georgia, but I mean, I guess we can say here too. What's your
Well,
shameful story?
you know how like sometimes you do certain things and you associate certain things together and you just like one and one equals two and anything outside of that equation is foreign to you.
Oh boy.
I had drank so much rum and coke that the first time I had coke without rum in it, after the fact that I had started drinking, I thought that somebody had messed with my drink. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I was like, this is not how this tastes like. Like I know this. There's an ingredient missing in here.
It's like that one story of the girl that was at a candle shop or whatever, and she was like, "Oh man, this tastes like Fireball," and the friend goes, "To the non-alcoholics, that's
That's
cinnamon."
cinnamon. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I could do rum and Coke, obviously, but I could also do rum and Pepsi. I mean, I am not a discriminatory person when it comes to that type of stuff in my drinks.
Yeah.
So, and I really liked when they had the lemon Pepsi. You remember that?
Pepsi Twist.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Pepsi Twist? I just
Yep.
remember they had
Rest in
lemon
peace,
in it.
Pepsi Twist.
Oh, speaking of, this one's actually kind of cool too, and it relates. So you remember Crystal Pepsi?
I've heard of Crystal Pepsi. I never tried it.
Oh man, so Crystal Pepsi is the see-through, like clear. It looks like Sprite basically, but it
Okay.
tastes like Pepsi. So they're actually doing um, a drawing where you can enter in, and the winner gets what is it, like 4 6 packs, basically a case of Crystal Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the drawing because the anniversary, I think is it 20 years? I think it's 20 years is coming up. So as
Oh.
a way of like, hey, we want to bring this back, but we're not going to put it on the shelves because it was a disaster when that came out. What
Yep.
we'll do is we'll just put it as a drawing, and then whoever wins will get a small amount of Crystal Pepsi.
You know, it's crazy to think that Crystal Pepsi came out between 1992 and 1994.
It's pretty crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yep. Because I remember it being around in like later 2000s to mid, and apparently that was because of a re-release.
Yeah,
So that's a little stuff that makes you feel old.
yeah. I just took a quick little Google there, and it was introduced in 1992, so 30 years ago. So April 13th is the anniversary. So it is 30. It's not 20, and they later reintroduced it. Let's see, in 90, or no, it was discontinued in 94. So
Mm-hmm.
man, it only had a 2 year run, and then they also had Diet Crystal Pepsi. Oh, that's just gross.
Yeah. Well, it came back in the mid 2000s for like
Yeah,
a
brief
brief stint.
re-releases through the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit later, but
Either
yeah,
way.
Crystal Pepsi. That's and you know what? There are people that still have those bottles.
I
So it's a limited run, but
I'm just
again, you won't
saying,
be able to buy it.
I don't think I'm ever gonna see like on American Pickers a Crystal Pepsi um metal sign. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you know what? I just scrolled down a little bit more, and on eBay right now, you can buy an original Diet Crystal Pepsi bottle, unopened, full, rare, whatever, for $250.
I mean, that would be a good, you know, get yourself a 4 pack of that if you win that thing. You know, that got $1,000.
Yeah, and then this one, they got another one, a Crystal Pepsi can, the original in the 1992 release, and it's only $30. So, and then they have a couple extra ones, like the limited edition for 2018 when it was rerun for $100. And then you remember Pepsi Blue?
I do remember Pepsi Blue.
I don't think I ever bought that, but I do remember Pepsi Blue.
Oh,
And apparently that's going for $10, but you also get the original Crystal Pepsi too. Man, what were some other stuff that they had? The twist, we talked about that. You remember Pepsi One?
yep, I remember Pepsi One.
Then what the hell is the other one? So they had Diet Crystal, they had Crystal.
They just came
Uh,
out not that long ago with the Pepsi Fire, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
they had a Pepsi Cherry, didn't they? Didn't they have a Cherry Pepsi too?
Yeah, Cherry Pepsi should still be around.
Yeah, they still have that. Pepsi Wild Cherry. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, they come up with some fun stuff.
You remember? I think Vanilla Pepsi.
Yeah, I remember that one too. That one I actually got because it went well with rum.
Yep.
Like the lemon one and and the vanilla one. So man, going down some memory lane. Good for you, North Carolina, for having that brand.
So going back over some of the other Pepsis, um, apparently there was a coffee flavored Pepsi known as Pepsi Kona,
Oh geez.
um, a mojito flavored Pepsi that was sold in Italy, a Pepsi White, which
Is
was
that the
sold in
same
Japan in 2008.
is that the same thing as Crystal Pepsi? Like
It looks
they just
different.
marketed it different?
Yeah. This looks almost like milky white, not clear like
Ugh.
Crystal Pepsi. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Pepsi Fire, which I had brought up. There was a salted caramel Pepsi. I actually kind of remember this one.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Pepsi Ice, which was supposed to be like a mint flavored Pepsi.
Man, whenever I hear stuff with like Pepsi Ice or whatever ice, I always think of some beer, like
Right.
Bud Ice or Bush Ice.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, you're gonna get drunk.
So, but there are two that I want to mention, and one I'm a little sad about because it was only sold in Russia, which is Pepsi ice cream.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this came in a can. And then another limited edition in Japan was Pepsi Blue Hawaii, which was pineapple and lemon flavored Pepsi in blue color.
I would probably drink that.
I mean, like, just be a blue Hawaiian almost.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It really does come down to the brand, right?
yeah,
Like they have done so much. And what was it? It was the same thing with Coke too. They have, it doesn't matter if you recreate the recipe. Like let's say that some guy was like, dude, I got Pepsi's recipe, here it is, and you recreate it and you try selling it, like one, it wouldn't matter. Pepsi could probably just shut that shit down anyway. Or let's say they even do let you go ahead and do it, and you're trying to sell it as, um, the Meat Vikings cola, whatever,
yep,
right? Pepsi has branded so well over the last 120 years that it wouldn't even matter.
nope.
And Coke the same way. Like if you have that recipe, it's not going to matter because they would just say, "Oh no, we're Coca-Cola." Like our brand.
So think of it this way, and this just occurred to me, right? What if for April Fools 1 year, they'd have to plan this out like months to years in advance because of the production lines, right?
Okay.
What if the CEO of Coke and the CEO of Pepsi swapped formulas, right? And so essentially you would run a production line of Coke that was bottled and labeled in Pepsi, and then Pepsi that was bottled and labeled in Coke for a April Fool's Day.
You would have people rise up, man, because they can taste the difference. They would know that this ain't Coca-Cola.
Right? But like they
But
have to
that
have some people in on it, like, no, man, it is what it is. Don't know what to
they
tell
can,
you.
yeah, they can brand it as like new Pepsi or new Coke again,
Yep.
and then go back to the old freaking formula, and then just sell even more. That's ingenious. Like you should send an email to one of the companies and say, "Look, I got an idea for next year."
Yep. Yep. That was
Well,
just my little tangent of thoughts.
that's not a bad tangent. I would definitely join you on that tangent. That would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've talked about a couple things already, but I kind of want to talk about the next part, which I didn't realize that was in North Carolina, but I knew that it was in South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually, I think, in both, but the birthplace. So, we've talked about Krispy Kreme, we talked about, Pepsi, we talked about these things. Well, man, if you need anything with fried chicken, you know damn well that you need to go to Bojangles.
It's true.
Bojangles, you know what? Apparently, a former KFC exec and the Hardee's franchise owner was in Charlotte, and they were like, "Dude, let's knock off these people." And Bojangles is the shit. Like, if you go through North Carolina, South Carolina, you need to stop off at Bojangles and get
Yep.
yourself some fried chicken.
Yeah.
Their biscuits are awesome too. So it's super cool because like big ass part of their operation is selling their biscuits. And the first ever Bojangles was in 1977, and now they've got over 700 of them through the Carolinas.
And that's just the Carolinas. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, 700 places to get Bojangles fried chicken.
Yeah. That's two. You've got 48 other states you could capitalize on.
Yeah, but let's see. I mean, you could do it, but scaling up like that would have to be like McDonald's, Burger King style. You
So,
know,
okay, look, I'm gonna stop you here just for a second, right? Okay, little Panther
okay.
action. You got KFC, right?
Yeah.
Now, in churches, right?
Fucked up.
Okay, now let's be honest here. They don't hold a candle to Bojangles, right?
I
Not
mean,
even close.
KFC, I think KFC is more on that brand as well. Like, I think they have branded that whole herbs and spices thing, and
But
they,
flavor, talking like
yeah,
sheer flavor.
I mean, Church's Chicken or even Popeyes is, I feel like, somewhat better sometimes. So, yeah.
I was gonna give Popeyes a leg up here because the only time I've ever found a Church's Chicken, okay, was where I was in parts of town that I did not to be at. You know what I'm
Here,
saying?
I'll give you another one. Chicken Express.
I'm not familiar with Chicken Express.
Oh man, Chicken Express is good too because they also give you the option for spicy.
Ah,
We'll talk about Chicken Express with Texas. And I don't know if it was born in Texas or what. I'll have to do some research on that. But
yeah,
yeah, man, Chicken Express is also top tier.
right.
Their sweet tea is just fucking delicious.
Yeah, I'm
But
just saying, like
continue with your thought there.
Bojangles could kneecap KFC in a heartbeat if it wanted to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just on like blind taste test alone. So
Maybe
because
Bojangles doesn't want to grow up into that big pond. Maybe they want to still feel like that big fish in that small pond.
okay, you're talking like Italian mob versus Russian mob, like they just fighting over like parts of New York, but for some reason KFC's available in 48 other parts of New York.
Yeah.
Calling bullshit on that.
I don't know. It'd be cool to get Bojangles outside of the Carolinas,
Yeah.
you know. But
I'm just saying this way. I would sign a petition to get Bojangles out of the Carolinas before I would sign a petition to get Whataburger and In-N-Out served up north.
dude, Whataburger already sold out, man.
When?
A couple of years ago. It's no longer, or not even a couple of years ago. I think it was last year. It's not even a Texas-based company anymore. Some place in Canada bought
That is a fucking shame.
it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little disappointed, Whataburger. You had
And then
one
you could,
star you needed to protect.
and they fucked it up.
They fucked it
And
up.
then you could even get pissed off at Buc-ee's too,
Oh,
because there's one in Alabama or Mississippi, and then there's another one coming to Kentucky.
okay, look, okay. Bucky's is the Sunday church close of gas stations, okay?
Dude, we'll get to Texas. We'll talk all about Buc-ee's, man.
Right, that's why I don't want you to get me started on Buckeyes right now.
I'm telling you, we'll get there. A couple more episodes, and we will have some Texas part 1, part 2, maybe part 3, because we're gonna talk about a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, but man, fucking Bojangles. Now it makes me want to go get some. Like
Right?
I wish that I could go get some Bojangles right now.
So
Damn. Well, the other thing that kind of goes along with that too is because the owner of Hardee's, the franchise owner,
mm-hmm.
um, apparently Hardee's is also uh, born in 1960 in Greenville, North Carolina. And then you know what? I guess this dude went to McDonald's, saw how successful it was, just serving fucking burger and fries, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna open up my own stuff. And I mean, kind of followed uh, that same menu of you're gonna have burgers, cheeseburgers, fries, milkshakes, and soft drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. He said the biggest difference between a McDonald's and a Hardee's is the char grills.
Yep.
The Mr. Hardy used from the beginning to give his simple burgers more flavor, whereas McDonald's is all done in the flat top.
Yep.
So he really should compare himself to Burger King then, because I mean they're the flame broiled whoppers.
Yep.
So I don't know. Shit, I can't remember the last time I went to a Hardee's.
It's been a minute for me.
Yeah, and don't they own Jack in the Box too?
Yeah. Well, like, see, that's another restaurant that I just don't get up here. Now,
Or
Jack in the Box, if you are a stoner and you are broke, Jack in the Box is a perfect meal.
or you could also just go to Taco Bell.
Honestly, I felt like I got more food from Jack in the Box for less money.
Really?
Yeah. Because they had like,
Okay.
I don't know what special it was, but I had a guy who I went to the Ocean Corps with, and he was big old Jolly Green Giant fan, and like every day he would just bring like Jack in a Box. And one day I gave him money for food. He's like, "Oh, dude, like $2, and I'll get you like 6 tacos." And I was like, "You're shitting me." But sure enough, $2, and I had 6 tacos.
Okay.
So
So let's see.
I got one I'd like to add that'd be real quick.
Well, is this a new thing or is this still talking about Hardee's? Because Carl's Jr., Hardee's, green burrito, red burrito, which I've never heard of those.
Is that
I
like
guess
depending on the sauce it's served with?
no. I think it's a restaurant.
Oh, no, nope.
I don't know, but um, let's see. They CKE Carl Karcher Enterprises has a bunch of different fast foods. And it's interesting because like Carl's Jr. is all the West Coast stuff, and you can
Hmm.
still see it in Texas and whatnot, going all the way up to Washington. And then Hardee's is the East Coast version of Carl's Jr.
Okay.
So you probably see, let's see, you where you're at will get Hardee's.
Yeah.
Where I'm at is Carl's Jr. The only places that have both is Oklahoma and what's that, Colorado, um, not Nevada, Idaho.
Yep.
So interesting that they have that. But I swear, like checkers and rallies, I thought that's the same thing. So yeah, so this place also acquired rallies and Taco Bueno.
Okay. Now, see, I
So
have had
rallies,
rallies.
yeah, rallies were later sold to Checkers in '99. So Checkers and rallies then followed a similar reorg to where it has for Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. So Checkers is like the West Coast, and rallies or vice versa, whatever the hell it
Yeah.
is the opposite end of that.
Oh, okay.
And then it doesn't have Taco Bueno anymore. It wound up selling that. But I swear to God, those two were for one, and that totally makes sense. So
Yep.
interesting. Either way, I
That
mean,
I'm going to
perfect
be honest with you.
food.
That sounds like grade A tax evasion right there.
Probably.
Because like, no, no, no. See, like, yeah, East Coast Hardee's, we made $1 million in profit, but West Coast, my Carlos Jr. franchise, we lost $1 million, so that evens out because they're not the same franchise. You see?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
the big parent company is like, yeah, man, we broke even.
yeah, yep. Just throwing it out there, calling it like I see it. I don't work for the IRS, and I never want to, but that seems like a little bit of tax evasion.
I mean, he put so much money in and lost so much money, so it broke even. I mean, you can't tax me on any profits because I didn't make any.
Right?
Well, then shit, man, we need to come up with something like that. Let's have like the pork loin, like meat Viking.
Yep.
I'll do the West Coast, you could do East Coast,
Yep.
and we'll just come together and say that one of us made money and the other one didn't.
Yep. Oh, that's our next $1 million idea right there.
Yeah,
So,
pork loin and meat Viking.
yep.
Well, I wonder what we could. We got to find something to sell, some food item, probably like bacon wrapped hot dogs or some shit like that.
Dude, I can go for a ham dog right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Dude, a ham dog would be awesome.
Yep.
Where the hell did that actually originate? Because if it was in North Carolina, we need to talk about that right now. But
I don't know, dude. Like somebody's ancestor came up with that. Oh no. This might be a rabbit hole that we can't go down just yet.
it's an Australian sandwich. So, place of origin, Australia. All
Let's
right.
see.
Well,
This is saying Nashville.
I'm seeing ham dog is.
Okay. It's an Australian sandwich, but it's done wrong. Okay. So this is how Australia did things because Australia doesn't know how to be a human being.
Yeah, they did it with patties and cut it in two.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
share
then,
that. Okay. Like
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not the ham dog that we're talking
No,
about.
like, all right, this is the Bop It version of the ham dog for those of you who remembers that toy. You know, like twist it over here, pull it
Shit.
over there, bop it right here. And then
No,
it
that's
looks like
not the
the
one that we're talking about.
no 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 no. No 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 no. That's wrong.
So if you're saying Tennessee, then we can come back and we can talk about Tennessee
Yeah. I don't know if
because
I'm brave enough to click images on a search result of ham dog.
maybe not while you're recording.
Yeah, let's not share the screen real quick. Just
Yeah,
in case. I've seen some parts of the internet shit gets wild real quick.
yeah, it does.
Stop share.
Well, we'll think about that before we go down to the old Tennessee, and we'll go down that rabbit hole. But so what are some other things in North Carolina? I mean, this is great conversation. I hope our listeners really enjoy this.
Right. So when you think of ordering something Carolina style, what comes to your mind?
I don't know, probably something with like mac and cheese and some coleslaw or some shit like that.
All right, so you're close. When ordering a hot dog or a burger, um, you could opt to serve it up Carolina style, which involves chili, onion, and coleslaw, sometimes mustard. But the term became more nationally well known when Wendy's offered the Carolina Classic option on its menu for a limited time. So it was so popular that Wendy's took it, and it was only available in the Carolinas. But yeah, now I don't know about you, but I love me like a nice pulled pork, like a spicy pulled pork with some coleslaw on top. So
I
I
can
can
deal
get
with that.
behind adding that on like a hot dog or a chili or a hot dog or a hamburger.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then have you heard of a sonker?
The fuck is a sonker?
It
I have not heard
is
of that.
it is a deep dish pie. Think like a cobbler, except more soup based,
Okay.
and usually involving sweet potatoes. However, another popular one would be like any normal cobbler dish where you can do like blueberries or peach and serve it a la mode. So let's see if I can pull it up. I want to get a good picture of this. And you know what? I think this will actually serve because I'm sure our audience members have seen a peach cobbler before, and they'll be able to tell that this is like far more soupier than that. Come on, Zoom.
Come on, Zoom.
Yeah. So here we have your auntie serving up.
Yeah, that looks like fucking soup.
Yeah. But you know what? I love me a nice. I forgot the entire word for it now.
I mean,
Cobbler.
that,
The first word that came to my mind was custard, and I knew that was wrong.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I can get behind that.
I'd stick a spoon in there and get myself a big old piece.
Mm-hmm. So like, it's just something about good desserts, man. I love me a good dessert. I really do.
I mean, fat kids love desserts. What can you say?
Right? So, and I flip in between a fat kid and a fat kid at heart. So it just depends on how much I work out.
Man, I work out and I'm still a fat kid, so it's all right.
Well, you're built like a fucking strong man, so I don't want to hear it. You're built
Fair
like
enough.
built like the fucking 1920s circus strong man. Just come around and like use your little handlebar mustache to flirt with women. Like I don't want to fucking hear it. All right, some of us are crossbreeds between dwarf that were female and Vikings and we're just stuck at like 5'7" for life, you know?
Hey man, I've gotten some really good compliments on that handlebar mustache.
I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure I would too if I had a handlebar mustache and I was 6'2".
You can grow a handlebar mustache. You could probably do it right now with the beard that you got.
Oh, dude, I could. I would
You
just
could
have
be
to
the
shave.
fancier. You could do the fancier dude, like the mustache competitions where
Yeah,
they have for the beard competitions. That's where you can get involved.
yeah. I might have to do that.
Just like that dude that ate ramen out of his. Did you see that one?
I have not. I've seen people use beer cans as curlers though for them, and I think that's super dope.
I've seen that, but there was a guy that created a little pocket in his beard and then put fucking ramen noodles in there and just started eating out of his beard.
Why would you do ramen noodles and not something like popcorn that's going to be far less messy?
I don't know, just for the internet fame.
You know, everybody gets their 15 minutes there sometimes.
Yep. Well, I got an extra one, and I kind of just did a little research on it. I found it to be kind of funny, especially since people go to Chick-fil-A and you can get this sauce. So it's Texas Pete,
Okay.
and what's really funny is that Texas Pete was created in North Carolina. So in the 1930s, this family wanted some hot sauce basically for barbecue. So I feel like it kind of fits because it is North Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't come up with a name that sounded really spicy. So their marketing guy. Now think about this. All right, this is back in the 1930s ish, maybe a little bit later. He suggested that you call the sauce Mexican Joe, as a way to invoke this image that it's going to be very hot and spicy. I'm sure that didn't take off and it didn't really fly.
Nope, not.
Can you imagine
I
being like,
wonder
hey, man,
why.
give me some of that Mexican Joe?
Yeah.
It's just like we talked about this one. We've mentioned it before, and we'll probably bring it up when we talk about Ohio, but Beaners.
Yep.
What used to be Beaners is now Big B,
Yep.
but Beaners is a little racial at the term. But you
Nope.
figure coffee, bean, Beaners, but someone's advertising agency was like, yeah, we'll just fucking go with it.
What a wild time to be alive.
Well, anyway, the father or the grandfather of this family, he wanted to have an American name associated with this, so that you cross the border over to Texas. Um, Pete happened to be the nickname of one of the brothers, and there it is,
Texas
Texas
Pete.
Pete. So you can find it just about anywhere, and more particularly in Chick-fil-A. But for myself, I actually like the Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A, so can't really do Texas Pete. It's not my favorite where I'm eating.
See, like when I go to Chick-fil-A, I usually just get their spicy meal and then some of that buffalo sauce to dip my fries in.
Yeah, I do the spicy deluxe.
Yep. Pepper jack cheese.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, buddy.
So, but man, can you Texas Pete? Can you imagine how that whole thing went down? Just, hey man, have Mexican Joe. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
buddy.
whoa, whoa,
We don't
whoa.
we don't take kindly to your type over here. Oh, you know what? That sounds like a Texas guy.
Yep. And then, like kudos on them for marketing because like they had to change Land O'Lakes butter, they had to change Aunt Jemima, fucking Uncle
Terrible.
Ben's.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's. Yep.
Oh, so like, you know what? Whoever caught that is like, let's just name it Texas Pete. Good on you.
But it's kind
So,
of funny because they're not from Texas. Like you would think that Texas would be proud enough to go, you get rid of that name.
well, like, I mean, I've lived in Ohio most of my adult life, and I still am probably like top 5% Southern out of people in Ohio. So I can kind of get it. Maybe he didn't fit in the Carolinas. Texas Pete was born a bit different. You
Yeah,
know,
there you go.
he topped out at a third grade reading level instead of a fifth grade reading level.
That's funny.
So, but I think that's all I had for today.
Yeah, I don't remember talking about anything else. I guess there was some stuff about pickles that I saw, but uh, maybe that can go down in another category.
It's all good.
But
So,
yeah, I think we did enough here to make it a part two anyway. So
oh yeah, for sure. And I don't have quite enough material for a part three, but I think a two-parter for North Carolina is spot on.
I think so for sure.
So let us know what you think. Have you had the Texas Pete sauce? Well, what's your view on, I forget even how to say it, Snockies? Snookies?
I don't know.
Snorkies? Snockers.
Snockers.
Yeah,
It's like schnozberries, man. It tastes like schnozberries.
right. What's your favorite
Uh,
type of Pepsi if you're a Pepsi drinker? And do you think they should pull the April Fool's joke? Let us know in the comment section below. I have been one of your hosts, the Meat Viking, with my wonderful co host,
Professor Porkloin
and we'll see you all in the next one.
in the next one.